The fire of determination is not something we are born with fully ignited. It is something we choose to kindle and protect every single day. Life will throw obstacles at us. It will test our patience. It will shake our faith. And it will push us to the point where giving up seems like the easiest option. But in those exact moments, when the world seems heavy and progress feels impossible, determination becomes the spark that keeps us moving forward. Determination is not about never falling. It is about refusing to stay down when life knocks you over. It is about saying, I may bend, but I will never break. I may stumble, but I will rise again. The truth is, success does not belong to the smartest, the strongest, or even the most talented. It belongs to those who refuse to quit. It belongs to those who decide that no matter how many doors close, they will keep knocking until one opens. Determination is the reason a student studies late into the night when everyone else is asleep. It is the reason an athlete keeps training when their body aches and their energy runs out. It is the reason dreamers turn visions into reality while others only talk about what could have been. Think about all the people who achieved greatness in history. They were not strangers to failure. In fact, failure was often their most consistent companion. But what separated them from the rest was the fire that burned within them, the determination to keep going, to keep fighting, to keep believing even when no one else did. They understood that determination is not just a feeling, it is a decision. It is the choice to show up every day, even when motivation fades. It is the discipline to keep working when no one is watching, and the courage to keep pushing when the path ahead is filled with uncertainty. We all have moments when our dreams feel too big and our strength feels too small. In those moments, determination whispers that you are stronger than you think, that progress is often invisible at first, and that every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to the life you imagine. Determination is not glamorous. It is built in silence, in sweat, in sacrifice, in resilience. It is forged in the moments when you feel like quitting, but choose to persist. And eventually, when the results show, the world calls it success, but only you know it was determination that carried you through the storms. The fire of determination must be fed daily. Doubt will try to put it out, fear will try to smother it, and failures will try to drown it. But if you guard it, if you feed it with hope, discipline, and action, that fire will grow into a force that no obstacle can withstand. Your dreams demand that fire. Your future requires it. And your best self is waiting on the other side of it. So when you feel tired, remember why you started. When you feel like giving up, imagine the regret of never trying. When the path is dark, let determination be the flame that lights your way. Keep pushing, keep fighting, keep moving forward, because the fire of determination, once ignited, has the power to turn ordinary people into legends and impossible dreams into living realities. Determination is not about never falling, but about refusing to stay down when life knocks you over. Every human being faces failure, rejection, disappointment, and heartbreak at some point in life. To fall is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you are human, that you are trying, that you are daring to step into the arena where risks are real and outcomes are uncertain. What defines you is not how many times you stumble, but how many times you choose to rise again. Falling is inevitable, but staying down is a choice. Determination is the voice inside that says, get back up, because your story is not over yet. Think about a child learning to walk. They take a few steps, lose balance, and fall countless times. But never once do they say, maybe walking isn't for me. They get back up again and again, and eventually they succeed. Somewhere along the journey of growing up, many of us lose that same resilience. We fall once, and we begin to doubt ourselves. We fail a test, and we start believing we are not smart enough. We lose an opportunity, and we convince ourselves we will never succeed. But determination reminds us that falling is part of the process. It teaches us that each stumble carries a lesson, and each failure prepares us for a greater comeback. Life is a series of ups and downs, victories and losses. No one goes through life winning every battle, achieving every goal on the first attempt, or walking a path without obstacles. Even the greatest inventors, leaders, and visionaries failed repeatedly before they tasted success. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His determination did not rest in avoiding failure. It rested in refusing to stay down after each failure. That mindset is the essence of resilience. When life knocks you down, you must understand that it is not the end, but rather a test of your endurance, your courage, and your faith. The power of determination lies in the decision to rise one more time than you fall. It is about embracing the bruises, the scars, and the struggles as proof that you dared to try. Many people give up right before the breakthrough, right before the moment when everything begins to shift in their favor. Why? Because they mistake falling for failure and staying down for destiny. But the truth is, destiny favors the relentless. Those who rise again and again create momentum that eventually carries them to heights they never imagined. When you refuse to stay down, you send a message to yourself and to the world. You are stronger than the setbacks, bigger than the failures, and tougher than the storms. Determination transforms every fall into fuel, every disappointment into drive, and every rejection into redirection. It does not erase the pain of falling, but it gives you the strength to use that pain as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Falling also humbles us. It strips away arrogance and reminds us that growth is not a straight line. Every fall teaches patience, every setback teaches perseverance, and every wound teaches wisdom. Determination ensures that these lessons are not wasted, but are transformed into building blocks for a stronger version of yourself. Without falling, we would never discover the depth of our strength, and without rising again, we would never experience the sweetness of true victory. Life is like climbing a mountain. Along the way, you will slip, stumble, and maybe even fall flat on your face. But determination is the hand that pulls you back up, the courage that keeps you climbing, and the belief that the view from the top is worth every fall. If you stay down, you never see the summit. If you rise again, no matter how many times it takes, you eventually conquer the mountain. It is easy to stay down when life hits hard. It feels comfortable, even safe, to surrender and tell yourself that maybe the dream wasn't meant for you. But determination is about refusing to settle for mediocrity, refusing to let failure define your future, and refusing to allow temporary defeat to turn into permanent surrender. Falling may slow you down, but it does not stop you unless you decide to stop. So the next time you fall, don't focus on the fall itself. Focus on the rise that follows. Remind yourself that every champion was once a contender who refused to stay down. Every success story is filled with chapters of failure, but determination ensured that the story did not end there. Your story, too, is still being written. Every time you rise, you are proving to yourself and to the world that you are unstoppable. Determination is not about being perfect. It is about being persistent. It is about standing up again and again until standing becomes natural, until rising becomes instinct, until victory becomes inevitable. The fire of determination burns brightest in the darkest hours, when everything seems lost, yet you choose to rise anyway. Falling is temporary, but rising makes you timeless. Remember, determination is not about never falling. It is about never staying down. That is where true strength, true growth, and true greatness are born. Success belongs not to the most talented, but to those who refuse to quit and keep moving forward. Talent is a gift, and yes, it can open doors, but it is never enough on its own. History is filled with people who had extraordinary talent, but achieved little because they lacked perseverance, consistency, and grit. On the other hand, there are countless individuals who may not have been the most gifted, but through sheer determination, relentless effort, and an unshakable refusal to give up, they rose to extraordinary heights. The truth is that talent may set the stage, but perseverance writes the script, and resilience completes the performance. The world often glorifies talent, intelligence, and natural ability, but the quiet truth is that these things are only tools, not guarantees. You can be intelligent, but if you give up when challenges come, your intelligence will never blossom into results. You can be naturally skilled, But if you stop the moment things become uncomfortable, your skills will never reach their true potential. Success is not reserved for the gifted few. It is reserved for those who keep moving forward, even when the path is filled with obstacles, doubt, and failures. The greatest advantage anyone can have is not talent, but consistency, patience, and persistence. Think of the stories that inspire us most. They are rarely about people who succeeded effortlessly. They are about those who faced rejection after rejection, yet kept going. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team before becoming one of the greatest athletes in history. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before perfecting the light bulb. None of these individuals succeeded simply because of talent. They succeeded because they refused to quit. They kept moving forward when others would have stopped. Their determination transformed them from ordinary individuals into icons. When you refuse to quit, you are training yourself to value growth over comfort. Every step forward, even the smallest, adds momentum to your journey. Progress may be slow, but it is still progress. A runner who refuses to stop eventually covers more ground than the sprinter who burns out and quits halfway. Life is not about how quickly you start, it is about whether you keep going when things get tough. Success is built brick by brick through effort, patience, and an unwavering refusal to give up, even when results are not immediate. Many people fail not because they lack ability, but because they give up too soon. They expect quick results, and when success does not come instantly, they lose heart. But every worthwhile achievement requires persistence. Seeds do not sprout the moment they are planted. Dreams do not manifest the moment they are conceived. Success requires time, and it belongs to those who are willing to endure the waiting, the setbacks, and the struggles, while still moving forward step by step. Refusing to quit builds character. It teaches you resilience, strengthens your mind, and makes you adaptable. Every challenge you overcome becomes proof that you are capable of more than you once believed. When you continue despite the odds, you begin to separate yourself from the crowd. Talent might help someone start strong, but perseverance ensures you finish strong. The world is filled with people who started with brilliance, but stopped when adversity struck. The ones who rise above are the ones who keep going long after others have stopped. Moving forward despite difficulties also shifts your focus from perfection to progress. You begin to understand that stumbling is part of the process, that mistakes are teachers, and that setbacks are not signs to quit, but signs to grow stronger. Success is rarely a straight line. It is a winding road with detours, dead ends, and obstacles. But if you keep moving forward, you will eventually reach your destination. Stopping guarantees failure. Persistence guarantees possibility. Even in personal life, the same truth applies. Relationships, careers, health, and personal growth all thrive not because of initial talent or instant results, but because of consistent effort and the refusal to quit when challenges arise. A strong relationship is not built on flawless compatibility, but on the determination to keep choosing each other, even through storms. A successful career is not only built on natural skills, but on learning, adapting, and persevering through failures. True growth comes from discipline and endurance, not from shortcuts. The beauty of perseverance is that it is available to everyone. Not everyone may be born with exceptional talent, but everyone has the ability to keep going. Determination is not a gift, it is a choice. Every day you wake up and decide to keep trying, you are already on the path to success. Every day you move forward, no matter how small the step, you are proving that you are stronger than the obstacles in your way. So when you face challenges, remind yourself that talent may shine for a moment, but persistence shines for a lifetime. The most successful people in the world are not always the most talented, but they are the ones who stayed in the game long enough to win. They did not quit when failure came. They did not stop when the road became hard. They refused to let setbacks define their destiny. Success belongs to those who are relentless, those who endure, and those who move forward even when progress feels invisible. Never let your lack of talent convince you that success is out of reach. What matters most is your willingness to keep trying, to keep showing up, and to keep moving forward, even when results seem distant. Success is not about avoiding failure. It is about persisting through it. It is not about being the best instantly. It is about becoming better consistently. At the end of the day, the crown of success does not rest on the most talented, but on those who refused to quit, who fought for their dreams, and who kept moving forward until the finish line was finally theirs. Failure is a constant companion of greatness, but determination transforms it into fuel for progress. No person who has achieved anything extraordinary has done so without first meeting failure face to face, often multiple times. Failure is not an accident in the path to success. It is part of the journey itself. It is a teacher, a test, and sometimes even a brutal wake-up call. Many people look at failure as a dead end, a final verdict on their abilities, or a sign that they should stop trying. But those who rise to greatness understand something deeper. Failure is not the end. It is the beginning of learning. It is determination that takes the sting of failure and reshapes it into energy, focus, and resilience that propel you forward. Failure can feel painful because it shatters our expectations. We work hard. We put our hopes into something. And when it doesn't work out, it feels like rejection not only of our effort, but of ourselves. That pain often tempts people to stop trying altogether, to avoid the discomfort of disappointment. Yet, those who achieve greatness know that the discomfort of failure is far less painful than the regret of never trying again. They recognize that failure is not a measure of worth, but a measure of effort and courage. The presence of failure simply means you are pushing beyond your comfort zone, stretching your limits, and daring to reach higher. Determination transforms failure from an obstacle into fuel, because it changes how you see it. Instead of viewing it as evidence that you are not capable, determination allows you to see it as evidence that you are on the right path. Each failed attempt is not wasted. It teaches you what doesn't work, sharpens your strategy, and strengthens your character. When Thomas Edison was asked about his repeated failures while inventing the light bulb, he famously replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset is determination in action. Without it, he would have given up after the first few failures. With it, he turned every setback into progress, eventually changing the world. Failure humbles you, but determination lifts you back up. Failure reminds you that the path to greatness is not paved with ease, but with persistence. Determination teaches you to embrace the lessons, adjust your approach, and try again with renewed energy. Every failure builds a reservoir of resilience. Each time you fail and rise again, you prove to yourself that setbacks are temporary, but your spirit is permanent. This belief is what transforms ordinary individuals into extraordinary achievers. Think about athletes who train for years and face countless defeats before they win championships. Their failures do not define them. Their determination does. Every loss becomes a lesson. Every defeat becomes motivation, and every setback fuels the hunger to come back stronger. Without determination, failure ends the story. With determination, failure becomes just another chapter leading to triumph. The truth is, failure often reveals more about your character than success ever will. Success can be easy to celebrate, but failure strips you down to your core and asks, will you rise again? Determination answers that question with action. It does not allow failure to be the final word. It insists on rewriting the story. This is why those who achieve greatness often say they learned more from failure than from success. Success may build confidence, but failure builds strength, wisdom, and depth. It is important to understand that failure will always accompany growth. The more ambitious your dream, the more failures you are likely to encounter. But this is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that you are walking the road of progress. Determination is the shield that protects you from discouragement and the fire that turns each fall into a stepping stone. Every great invention, every groundbreaking idea, every remarkable achievement in history carries within it a trail of failures that were transformed into victories through sheer perseverance. When you reframe failure as fuel, You begin to embrace it instead of fearing it. You start to see that every no brings you closer to a yes. Every mistake sharpens your ability, and every setback prepares you for a stronger comeback. Determination turns failure into feedback. Instead of letting it crush you, you allow it to refine you. And with every cycle of failure and determination, you grow stronger, wiser, and closer to your ultimate goal. What separates those who achieve greatness from those who don't is not the absence of failure, but their response to it. The ones who quit allow failure to define them. The ones who persist allow determination to transform failure into growth. Success, in the end, is not about avoiding failure, but about mastering the art of rising from it. Failure will always walk beside you on the journey to greatness. But if you walk with determination, that same failure will serve as your greatest teacher, motivator, and guide. So when failure comes, and it will, do not run from it. Do not see it as a sign that you are not enough. See it as proof that you are trying, proof that you are on the path, and proof that greatness is within reach. Let determination turn the pain of failure into the fuel of progress. Keep moving, keep pushing, keep rising, because failure is not the opposite of success. It is a vital part of it, and determination is the bridge that carries you from failure to greatness. Determination is not a feeling, it is a daily decision to show up, persist, and keep pushing. Feelings are fleeting. They rise and fall like the tide, sometimes strong and motivating, sometimes weak and discouraging. If we relied solely on feelings to guide us, we would only work toward our goals when life felt convenient, when the mood was right, or when energy was high. But greatness does not come from convenience, and dreams are not achieved by those who only act when they feel like it. Determination is the discipline of making a choice every single day to keep moving forward, even when the heart is heavy, the body is tired, or the mind is filled with doubt. Many people believe they have to feel motivated in order to act. But the truth is the opposite action creates momentum, and momentum fuels motivation. If you wait for the perfect feeling to arrive before you start, you may never begin. Determination is about showing up regardless of the feeling. It is about saying, I may not feel like it today, but I will still do it, because my dreams deserve consistency, not excuses. The decision to show up day after day builds strength far greater than any burst of temporary inspiration. Think about the greatest athletes, writers, leaders, and innovators. They did not achieve their accomplishments because they woke up every morning feeling enthusiastic. They achieved greatness because they built habits of discipline. They made the choice to train, to write, to study, to create even when it was the last thing they wanted to do. Determination is not glamorous. It is often quiet, repetitive, and filled with sacrifice. It is waking up early to work on your dream when no one else is watching. It is staying up late to finish a task when the easier choice is to rest. It is pushing yourself to go further when comfort whispers for you to stop. Persistence is the heart of determination. Life will constantly test your willpower with obstacles, distractions, and delays. Some days you will feel progress, and other days it will feel like you are standing still. But determination reminds you that persistence always pays off in the long run. Each time you show up, even if the progress is invisible, you are building a foundation. Just as drops of water eventually carve through rock, small acts of persistence create lasting results. Success is never built in a day. It is built by the decision to keep going every day. The power of daily decision making is that it builds resilience. Each time you push through the urge to quit, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. That strength compounds over time. You may begin the journey with doubt, but as you persist, you build self-trust. You start to believe in your ability to keep going no matter what, and that belief becomes unstoppable. Determination does not make the path easy, but it makes you strong enough to walk it. There will be days when you feel discouraged, when results seem distant, when no one notices your effort, and when the voice in your head tells you it's not worth it. Those are the most important days to show up. Anyone can keep going when the path is smooth, but true determination is revealed in the storms. in the moments when quitting feels easier than continuing. Choosing to push forward in those moments separates dreamers from achievers and wishful thinking from real success. Determination also requires clarity. When you have a clear vision of why you are pushing, the decision to persist becomes easier. It does not mean the journey will be without pain, but it means the pain will have purpose. A person who knows their why can endure almost any how. That is why determination is not about chasing empty goals. It is about staying true to the dreams that matter most to you. Your vision fuels your decision to persist, and your persistence brings that vision to life. It is important to remember that determination is built in small choices, not just big ones. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, every time you take one step instead of standing still, every time you push forward when you could have quit, you are strengthening the muscle of determination. Over time, these small decisions add up to monumental progress. The person who succeeds is not always the one who made the grand leap, but the one who kept walking steadily when others stopped. The beauty of determination is that it does not require perfection. You may stumble, fall, or even pause along the way. What matters is that you rise, reset, and keep going. Determination forgives mistakes, but it does not allow surrender. It accepts imperfection, but it demands effort. You don't have to be the fastest, the strongest, or the smartest. You just have to keep showing up. The daily decision to persist will carry you further than talent or luck ever could. So, the next time you feel unmotivated, remind yourself that feelings are temporary, but choices shape destiny. Do not wait for the right moment to act. Create it by acting now. Success does not come to those who feel like it. It comes to those who keep showing up day after day, no matter how they feel. Determination is not a fleeting burst of energy. It is a commitment, a decision, a way of life. And when you decide every single day to show up, persist, and keep pushing, you build a momentum that no obstacle can stop and no failure can destroy. The fire of determination must be fed with hope, discipline, and action to withstand fear, doubt, and setbacks. Determination on its own is a spark. It has the potential to light up your journey, but like any flame, it will die out if it is not nurtured. Life is full of challenges that will try to dim your light: the fear of failure, the doubt planted by others, and the setbacks that come when things don't go as planned. If you do not feed the fire of determination, those obstacles will extinguish it. But if you keep fueling it with hope, strengthen it with discipline, and drive it forward with action, your determination will become a force strong enough to withstand anything life throws at you. Hope is the fuel that keeps your determination alive when the road gets dark. Without hope, determination quickly turns into despair. Hope gives you the ability to see beyond your current struggles, to believe that there is a brighter future waiting, and to trust that your efforts are not in vain. Hope is what whispers, "This storm will pass." When fear tells you it will last forever, it is what reminds you that failure is temporary, that setbacks are setups for comebacks, and that the effort you invest today will pay off tomorrow. Hope does not remove obstacles, but it gives you the courage to keep climbing even when the peak seems out of sight. A determined person without hope is like a traveler without a map. They may move, but they will lose direction. Hope anchors determination to a vision, and that vision gives you the strength to continue. Discipline is the structure that sustains determination when motivation fades. Hope gives you vision, but discipline turns that vision into consistent action. Many people start strong because they feel motivated, but they fade when the excitement wears off. Discipline is what carries you forward in those moments. It is the ability to wake up early, to put in the work, to keep practicing, to keep learning, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is not about doing big things. Once, it is about doing the small things daily, repeatedly, and relentlessly. The fire of determination burns brighter when discipline provides the wood to keep it alive. Without discipline, even the strongest determination flickers out in the winds of distraction and procrastination. But with discipline, your determination grows stronger with every choice, every sacrifice, and every consistent step forward. Action is the final ingredient that transforms determination into progress. Hope without action is only a dream, and discipline without action is only potential. Action is what breathes life into determination. It is the decision to take that first step, no matter how small, and then to keep stepping forward. Too many people wait until everything feels perfect before they act, but perfection never comes. Determination demands action now, even when you feel unprepared, even when the outcome is uncertain. Every action, no matter how imperfect, adds fuel to your fire. Each time you act in the direction of your dreams, you prove to yourself that fear and doubt cannot hold you back. Action builds confidence, and confidence strengthens determination. Fear, doubt, and setbacks will always test the strength of your fire. Fear tries to paralyze you, whispering that you are not enough or that failure will destroy you. Doubt tries to weaken you, convincing you that your dream is impossible or that others are more capable than you. Setbacks try to break you, draining your energy and making you believe your effort is wasted. But when your determination is fed with hope, discipline, and action, these obstacles lose their power. Hope reminds you that your story is not over. Discipline keeps you consistent even when you feel uncertain. Action proves that progress is still possible, even in the midst of difficulty. The fire of determination is not meant to burn quietly. It is meant to blaze through challenges. But like any fire, it needs constant feeding. If you neglect it, fear will smother it, doubt will weaken it, and setbacks will extinguish it. But if you nurture it daily with vision, structure, and effort, nothing can put it out. Hope gives you direction, discipline gives you consistency, and action gives you momentum. Together, they create a fire so strong that fear has no choice but to retreat, doubt has no chance to survive, and setbacks become stepping stones instead of stumbling blocks. Greatness is not about avoiding obstacles. It is about building a fire that burns so fiercely that obstacles cannot stop you. When people see someone who has achieved success, they often admire the results, but overlook the fire behind it. The countless days of showing up, the unshakable hope in the face of failure, the relentless discipline when motivation was gone, and the continuous action even in uncertainty. That fire is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. If you want your determination to last, you must become intentional about feeding it. Protect your hope by surrounding yourself with positivity and vision. Strengthen your discipline by creating habits that align with your goals. Drive your determination forward with action, even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. And when fear, doubt, or setbacks come, and they will, you will not be shaken because your fire will be strong enough to endure. At the end of the day, determination is not about avoiding the storm. It is about building a fire so powerful that the storm cannot put it out. And the way to build that fire is simple: feed it every day with hope that sees the future, discipline that creates consistency, and action that makes progress real. With these, your determination will never flicker out. It will keep burning, keep guiding you, and keep driving you toward the life you were meant to live. Once ignited, the fire of determination turns ordinary people into legends and impossible dreams into reality. History is proof that greatness is not reserved for a chosen few. The world's most celebrated leaders, inventors, athletes, and visionaries were not born extraordinary. They were ordinary people who faced fear, doubt, and countless setbacks. But they carried one thing that set them apart: the unshakable determination to keep going when others would have stopped. It is not perfection, privilege, or luck that creates legends. It is the decision to ignite the fire of determination and keep it burning through every storm. When determination takes root in a person's heart, it changes the way they see the world. What once looked impossible begins to look like a challenge waiting to be conquered. What others call unrealistic, they see as an opportunity to prove what is possible. Determination shifts your perspective from limitation to possibility. It takes the ordinary life you are living and turns it into a canvas for extraordinary achievement. The fire inside you becomes stronger than the obstacles outside you. That is why determined people often surprise the world. They achieve things others never thought could be done. not because they had special advantages, but because they refused to let go of their dream. The most powerful part of determination is that it creates momentum. Once you ignite that fire and take your first steps, the energy builds. Small victories begin to pile up, and each one fuels your belief that bigger victories are possible. An ordinary person with determination becomes unstoppable because they learn that progress is not about giant leaps. It is about steady, relentless steps forward. Over time, those steps lead to mountains being climbed, barriers being broken, and impossible dreams being realized. Consider the story of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison, yet never let his dream of freedom for his people die. An ordinary man in extraordinary circumstances, he ignited his fire of determination and refused to let it be extinguished, even in the darkest times. When he emerged, he became a symbol of resilience, forgiveness, and courage, not only for his nation, but for the entire world. His determination transformed not only his own destiny, but the destiny of millions. Legends are not born. They are forged in the fires of struggle, perseverance, and unrelenting determination. The same is true for inventors like the Wright brothers. They were not wealthy. They were not formally trained engineers, and they faced ridicule for dreaming of flight. Yet they had a fire inside them that refused to die. Every failed attempt was not a defeat, but a lesson. With determination as their guide, they turned the impossible into reality, opening the skies for humanity. Today, we live in a world where flight is ordinary, but it only exists because two ordinary men believed in their impossible dream and fueled it with determination. The fire of determination also reshapes how you view yourself. Many people underestimate their potential because they measure themselves only by their current circumstances. They look at their lack of resources, their failures, or their doubts, and they believe they are destined to remain ordinary. But determination teaches you that greatness is not about where you start, but about how fiercely you continue. Once that fire is lit, you begin to see yourself not as a victim of your challenges, but as a warrior capable of overcoming them. You begin to act with confidence, to dream without limits, and to push through pain because you know the fire inside you is stronger than anything standing against you. Impossible dreams are only impossible until someone with determination proves otherwise. For centuries, people believed the 4-minute mile could not be broken. It was seen as a physical limit of the human body. But in 1954, Roger Bannister, an ordinary medical student, proved them wrong. He did not have the best training facilities or technology. What he had was determination. Once he broke the barrier, countless others followed, proving that the impossible is often just an illusion waiting to be shattered by someone who refuses to give up. The fire of determination is contagious. When one person refuses to quit and achieves the impossible, they inspire countless others to believe in their own potential. Legends are not only remembered for what they achieve, but for how their determination ignites others. Think of Malala Yousafzai, who stood against fear and violence to fight for education. She was just an ordinary young girl, but her determination to speak out transformed her into a global symbol of courage. Her fire lit flames in the hearts of millions around the world. Ordinary people become legends, not because their path is easy, but because they refuse to surrender when it is hard. They fall, they fail, they face criticism, but they keep rising, learning, and moving forward. The impossible becomes possible because they never stop feeding their fire. Each setback becomes wood for the flame. Each doubt becomes fuel, and each fear becomes a challenge to overcome. This is the essence of determination. It transforms obstacles into opportunities and dreams into reality. The truth is, every single person has the potential to ignite this fire. You do not need to be extraordinary to begin. You only need to believe in your dream, commit to your path, and refuse to let setbacks extinguish your flame. Once ignited, the fire of determination can take you further than talent, resources, or luck ever could. It will carry you through the darkest nights and guide you toward the brightest victories. It will turn your life into a story worth remembering and your name into a legacy that inspires others. So, if you feel ordinary today, remember these legends are not born, they are made. They are ordinary people who made the extraordinary decision to ignite their determination and never let it die. Your dream, no matter how impossible it seems, is waiting for that fire. Feed it, protect it, and let it burn. Because once ignited, the fire of determination does not just change your life. It has the power to change the world.